and welcome back to the show. I'm your nerdy host, Annie.
And I'm Tony from Act the Movies.
Hey, thanks for joining me, Tony. I appreciate it. Whether you're a filthy casual, a hardened pro, or even a mobile gamer, you can join us as we rant, rave, and ramble about games that we like and occasionally games that we don't like. But as always, we're here to ask the question, what's this game?
Syphon Filter.
Syphon Filter is a third-person shooter released by Eidetic at the very end of 1999. So I guess you could say 2000, depending on the time of day it was released, but I
Yeah.
digress. I think this game is fantastic. It is a great combo of like hallway shooters, a little bit of kind of choose your own path, stealth. I feel like this game, just because the flavor, ambition, and how much it tries to accomplish and does, it feels like a game that came out in like 2010, maybe even, because it's got voice acting, it's got like tons of guns, it's got a bunch of levels,
hmm
it's got cutscenes. I think it's really cool because it's got third person aiming, it's got the first person aiming, which you have to get good at by the end of the game, otherwise you're gonna get your ass kicked. The whole game is a treat and a challenge. And even in moments where I'm like, man, I want to cheat, I'm like, I can't, because that's the whole point of this game, is to kick my ass. If I was a kid and this is the only game I had, I would be so happy with it, because it would be like, all right, well, I'm going to go do the park mission over and over because I like that mission. I like sneaking around and shooting the guys. I
Yeah.
think it is a treat front to back, and I really thank you for suggesting this game to me, because I definitely would not have picked it up or even considered it without you.
Really? So this is no secret. It is my favorite video game of all time. I remember seeing a commercial for it when I was 9. It's this guy who like walks around town and he keeps looking at people and he keeps like hallucinating the video game. And I'm like, that looks like the coolest goddamn thing ever. And I begged my mom to get it for me. And that paid off because I still have it today. And now it is signed by the lead game designer, Richard Allen Ham. I love this game so much. The first two games I love very, very much, but specifically this one, I played this more than any other game. It's funny that you said cheat codes. I have like the cheat codes in like my fingers muscle memory. Like there will be years that go by and I'll like play and I'm like, oh, I want to skip to the level. I'm like, do I still know that? And if you ask me what the code is right now, I can't tell you. But if I had a controller, I could hit the right combination. Like, oh my god, it's still in there. So yeah, I was obsessed with this game. Played it so much. It had everything I like because I loved like I was a young kid, but like I liked action movies, James Bond, spy stuff, and this was like set in the real world. It was very realistic. I mean, as realistic as a PlayStation game can be. And then in 2020, I started a mini series on my channel before like the podcast blew up and everything called Syphon Filter and Friends, where I played a level of Syphon Filter with a best friend. And as I was airing it, Richard Ham, the game designer, saw the show, contacted me, and he was in the last episode of my show. So I learned a lot about this game from him. So I can give you a lot of cool behind the scenes information. Annie, do you know why it's called Syphon Filter?
Well, other than it just being the virus, no, I have no idea.
So apparently, Syphon Filter, the name came from a different idea that the studio had. It was a futuristic game where you would siphon souls from the earth and filter them and fight aliens or something.
Okay.
And then when Richard and everyone came in, they're like, "Hey, we want to do this instead." And apparently, I forget who owned it. They were like, "That's cool. The problem is we trademarked the name, so you still have to call it Syphon Filter." So that's why it's like not even spelled right. It's Syphon. So they were just stuck with that, and they were like, "I guess it
Did they
siphons all the race."
did they keep any of the assets or anything like that, or are they just
No,
like, no, no, no,
no.
just the IP and the name and the logo, because we paid for that already?
Yeah, I don't even think it was the logo. They were just like, "Yeah, just do this." Um, but it was cool because around this time there weren't many like games set in the modern day other than like a James Bond game, or if it was based off like a movie.
Hmm.
Like this feels very real world. Like I know people really compare it to Metal Gear, which I don't care for. And I think
I compared it more to Splinter Cell myself.
Splinter Cell came out afterwards.
Sure, but I mean, like,
Solid,
mechanically.
I think Metal Gear Solid had moles inside the Syphon Filter team. I know they beat Syphon Filter the punch, but it was pretty close. But no, so this like felt real world, so that's what I kind of liked about it. And Richard said he was watching like a lot of action movies around that time, and the one that he was really into was Assassins, starring Antonio Banderas. So yeah, it's a little bit of my history with this game. I'm glad you really never played this before. This was included in the PlayStation Mini Classic.
I never owned a PlayStation. The first PlayStation I've owned is the PlayStation 5.
Well, I mean, like, remember they were making all those little mini consoles a few years back?
Yeah, but I never picked up those. I've never had a PlayStation or a mini PlayStation. No.
Syphon Filter was good enough to be included in the mini. You didn't have any friends who own this?
No, I had no real friends as a kid. I had the one friend, he had an Xbox, and that's how I got into Halo. So if he would have had a PlayStation, it probably would have been a whole different version of me where I was into PlayStation and stuff, and I'd be like, oh my God, Sly Cooper and whatever. And, like, who knows where I would be at this point. But no, my friend owned an Xbox, and I was like, oh, sweet. We were a Nintendo household, so we pretty much only had the Nintendo consoles up until I played Halo, and I was like, you have to get me an Xbox because this shit is never going to be on Nintendo ever. So get me a dang Xbox.
It was funny because all my friends have the Nintendo 64, and I was just like, I guess I'll just get a PlayStation because, like, I feel if I want to play a Nintendo 64, I can just go to a friend's
Go to anyone's house, yeah.
Yeah, and I think my cousin had a PlayStation. I think he had both. He was one of those kids who had both. And I don't know, something PlayStation games just really connected more with me, like Crash Bandicoot and stuff. But now Syphon Filter, this was just like the peak game for me. It had everything I wanted in it, and it was awesome.
How old were you when you got this game?
I would have, if 1999, August 1999, right? Or no, I'm looking at the
January.
I'm looking at the game story. Sorry. It was January 1999. So yeah, I would have been 9 years old. Yep.
9. Okay, yeah, I would have been 4. So even if I would have had a PlayStation, I don't think I would have been playing this. I don't think my dad would have been letting me play this game. No, I don't think he would have.
No, you would have been bad because I bought years ago. It was like 6 years ago now. I bought my goddaughters the PlayStation Mini, and I told them that this was my favorite game. And the one was like maybe 6 at the time, and she kept like asking me to play. She was just not getting it. I'm like, you know what? This one's not for you. Go put the other ones on. But yeah, little 9-year-old Tony was just headshotting people and sniper rifling them.
The arsenal of weapons in this game is pretty impressive and almost almost pointless because half the time you're not going to use most of the guns if you're even semi-decent at the game, because you're just going to be using like 1 or 2 bullets at a time to just headshot somebody, or you're going to use a more powerful gun and just lock on and kill them in like 5 bullets. So there's many of the guns that I got, and I was like, all right, I'm only going to use this because I want to run out of ammo with it.
Yeah, now we can't talk about weapons without talking about the most iconic thing from this game. The taser. The taser is, most people remember the taser from this game. Even if they have vague memories of Syphon Filter, if you played in the 90s, 9 times out of 10, someone will be like, that's the game where you could like tase someone, they light on fire, right? It's like, yes, that actually is that game. I love the taser. And I don't know if we would have mentioned Days Gone until the end. Maybe we'll save that for the end. But the iconic taser makes a comeback in another game.
Spurgsnake, who is a co-host on this show and a viewer in the channel right now, he remembered the game specifically for that. He's like, oh, that's the game with the taser. And I was like, he said something like, the taser kicks ass. I was like, does it? And I was being facetious about it, but I was like, no, it's pretty fucking cool. I really like how you can tase them, light them on fire, and keep doing it until they like just keep ragdolling indefinitely. But if you tase them and then immediately like let go and tase them again, they'll fall on the floor and then keep doing that. So you can just keep doing it on the floor and just essentially torture bad guys. Well,
Yeah, and you
I
have
mean,
to
they just
use
work
the
here, honestly.
and you have to use the taser to neutralize some characters without killing them. But then those are the hardest because you just want to keep holding down the taser button. But you're like, oh no, I can't light him on fire. Oh no, oh no.
Right, don't want to murder them, don't want to cook their entire body. I just want to lightly tase them. Because it's like basically the only non-lethal weapon. Because even the gas is deadly gas, so it's not knockout gas. No. It just instantly executes people, including yourself. So it's one of those things you have to watch out for.
Yeah.
So the game opens up with a cutscene that lets you kind of know what your guy Gabe Logan is up to. He works for a agency of the government that is tracking down a terrorist organization that is using basically a virus to kill people. They're in the low stages of it right now, so you want to kind of catch up to it and stop it before they're able to take over the world with this.
Yes.
I believe it starts in the jungle. One of your teammates gets captured and killed.
Ellis.
Ellis,
these are the coordinates Ellis said. Over there. I have like the whole intro memorized. Sorry. And this is where we meet our villains. There's his two underlings. You got Mara Aramov, who becomes like the villain of the next three. Like I think she becomes the main villain in 3. And Anton Gurdu, that funny French flamethrower man. And of course, we got our main guy, Erich Rhoemer.
Yeah, I feel like Rhoemer is the most underwhelming and underutilized in this game because he's the big bad guy and you don't really see or hear from him until the very end of the game. So,
he's the overarching enemy.
Yeah, sure. But like Mara is definitely the primary antagonist of the entire game, even at the end where she's sort of helping you.
Yeah. Yeah, and we also get to meet Logan's partner, Lian Xing.
Yeah, Leon is she's fine. I feel like they don't use her enough to make her like a good character. She's just like your intel person, but is I don't know. I feel like she doesn't have enough intel for me to like. I wish her and Logan bantered a little bit more, or like I don't know. I feel like there's not enough development on her.
No,
that's not her fault.
By the way, this is like the golden age of gaming where the cutscenes would just set up what the level is. She comes in and gives you very specific directions, like you have to go here to do this thing. Perfect. You're right. A modern game, she'd be like, "Watch out for this, Gabe," and I'd be like, "Oh, I remember when we did this and that." Adventure that we're never gonna see unless we make a prequel game. And it's like it would be totally ruined. No, I like,
and some of them are totally or like ignorable. Like you'll be like running past a thing, and it'll be like press triangle to contact Leon, and it'll be like, nah, I'm good, and you just run past it.
If you know what the objection is, you can just skip it. It is funny though, if you listen to it and you end the cutscene, it just cuts to Gabe just going right or on it.
I like that. If you skip the dialogue or the cutscene, it's just like check and just like yep on it right and just skipping it. And the first time I thought it was just like a coincidence, but I was like failing apart repeatedly. And I was like, oh yeah, no, he just yep I get it. Skip it.
By the way, the agency, I remember asking Richard, I'm like, where did that come from? He's like, we didn't want to name what agency it was. We didn't know. So we just went the agency. I'm like, that's perfect.
It's a 1-letter word, agency. A.
Yeah. But you're right. They find some dead people, but then later in the cutscene, they're in like a snowy area. I forget where exactly.
I think it's like in Nepal or something like that.
Yeah, but they find someone who's alive when everyone else is dead. They're like, how did he survive, but no one else didn't? And that leads into the twist later in the game.
Which I was just doing notes on it, and I still don't remember why that was a big deal specifically.
Oh no, that it ties into the twist where the virus can target you based off your genetic makeup.
Oh, so he was just a different race, and that was it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So that guy just didn't have the right genetic makeup. That's why he was like, well, for whatever reason, he got sick and fell down. I think they were still testing out, but he didn't die because of that.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Well, that. I guess I missed that because that was so far back in the game and I was playing this over a couple of weeks. So,
Yeah.
After that, the game shifts to a cutscene letting you know that you need to go to DC to stop some viral bombs that have been placed there, because that's going to be their first real testing in the United States. Like, they've obviously tested in one or two locations, especially in Nepal, which we just saw. But
you're right. Hold on. We're gonna do Costa Rica, Nepal, Washington D.C. I'm like, wait,
that's a big
you guys
jump.
went a little too hard, a little too fast.
Yeah, go to like Cleveland or something, you know?
Yeah, work your way there. I'm like, I don't know if you want to start with. This isn't tested that well. I don't know if you want to start with DC.
And when you get deployed and open up in DC, they just show you a random street in a random corner. It's not even like near the Washington Monument or near the White House or anything. It's just like, it's over here near the subway. It's like, all right, cool. We're in DC because the game told me to. I can't see anything that proves that, but I believe you.
What do you mean? You eventually go to the Lincoln Memorial and it looks nothing like the Lincoln Memorial.
Precisely. It's fine.
I love the camera. I love the camera coming down and the police car explodes and flies in the air. I love how interactive some of the environments are. Like, you could shoot a car and it'll explode later.
I like that you could shoot you could shoot lights. There's no purpose in the first game at all to shoot lights. Enemies, like, their detection doesn't go up or down depending on lights. There's no sections where it helps you sneak at all. It just is like,
sometimes you can kill someone with the lights exploding. But I remember I did ask, why do the lights explode? And apparently that was like, they were supposed to be something else, and they just used that explosion animation for the lights. So it doesn't make, I guess they're all just gas-powered chandeliers in that church level. So it's so funny, you shoot the lights and they just explode all over the place. You can crush people with them, but you're right. It's mostly just for show. It's just fun.
The chandeliers, yeah, but I'm talking about like tiny little lights on walls, or like a fluorescent light bulb, or like the mood lighting in hallways. You can shoot basically every light bulb in the game, and except for the ones you mentioned, don't do shit. It's just something that you can do because somebody on the team was like, well, what if the player shoots a light bulb? Shouldn't it break?
Pretty much. And in the later on in the museum, if you shoot all the light bulbs out in the T-Rex exhibit, the game will glitch. The T-Rex polygons get all fucked up, and then the ground turns black, and you just fall into an abyss, and you die.
Oh, that's cool.
Again, I was a weird kid that would just shoot all the lights.
Well, yeah, because if this is one of the only games you had, or, you didn't have much else to do.
The lights, and you're like, cool. But then after I found out the T-Rex thing, I'm like, I bet you there's other rooms that do that. Nope. It's just that one. Trust me, I spent a lot of time shooting lights in this game.
I would have done the exact same thing if I had this game when I was a kid. Like, I would have been blown away. I'm ashamed that I missed it, and I'm hoping the second two games are even halfway decent. The one big gripe I have for the game is its control scheme. And I understand it's a product of its time, and there's not much else they could have done, but if there was just a mod to like allow you to use both sticks on this game would still be fucking fantastic today.
Yeah.
It's just a pain in the ass to play with the legacy turning, and granted, they allow you to strafe sort of with the triggers, but the strafing also sort of pushes you forward, so you can't perfectly strafe next to objects sometimes because you'll like clip onto the corner of it. So you have to sometimes hold back and then strafe. But whenever you do strafe, you're walking forward, so you're constantly fighting against yourself. It's great in combat, though, especially if you want to avoid like grenades and other things like that. If it just had a modern control scheme, you wouldn't need to, because you could just use the joystick to move omnidirectionally, and then the other one to aim your gun.
Yeah, this is like one of those. I'm just like, this game has been in my life so much that I can understand someone who never played it having an issue with the controls. For me, I'm like, they're perfect. Love them. That's kind
for
of
the
like,
game. They are perfect. Like the reason I say it's like a 2010 game is because of the amount of things they give you to play with that maybe you don't need to, especially the mobility. The fact that you can crouch walk, you can crouch, you can roll, you can sprint roll, you can climb, you can clamber, you can shimmy. There is so much you can do in this game that it's like, I wish I was doing a little bit more of this stuff. I'm just constantly rolling everywhere just because it gives me something to do.
The roll makes you basically impervious to bullets. Unless it's like a grenade or a grenade launcher or the flamethrower, if you just keep rolling, you most likely will not get hit by anyone.
Yeah, you're basically untargetable.
Yes. And the controls are pretty much similar between 2 and 3. 2 adds extra stuff, like you get a knife at one point, you get some crossbows.
The knife, the melee is the one thing that was missing from the game. Is there's no like melee or stealth takedown option besides the taser.
Yeah, the knife. Yeah, they add the knife in for the stealth missions, so you can sneak up and like cut people. You can't. I don't think it's been a minute since I played. I don't think you can run around stabbing people. I think it's just for the stealth missions. But you're right. Another stealth option would have been nice.
Especially since some of the missions force you to do stealth, which I honestly like didn't have a gripe about. There's forced stealth missions and there's forced escort and tail missions. And all of them are used in a way that it didn't really piss me off. I only had one mission where I had to tail somebody for any length of time. Like actually 2. You tail a guy in a museum and you tail a guy like a lab assistant somewhere. And those are the 2 times you have to do it. And then there's 2 times where you have to lead somebody. You lead a prisoner and you lead your partner through 2 sections. So both of those are still done in a way that's pretty nice, because in the part where you're leading, the people that are following you are basically unkillable. The enemies don't really target them, so unless they get hit by stray bullets or you shoot them in the back, it's not really that hard to go through those sections. Mostly what you're dealing with is you dying to somebody that was hiding around a corner with a shotgun.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of like people getting shot, I like that blood will just show up on them. Like, it's not just blood squirts out of them, like their clothes will become like stained with blood, which I feel like for me was kind of rare at that time.
Exactly. And part of my and goes to my point of they just did things because they're like, all right, well, wouldn't this happen? Do you think we should do this? yeah, why not? Let's we have the time, we have the effort, we have the know-how, and I guess we still have the budget, so let's do it.
You know what's really crazy? You know, you were talking about the controls and everything. You know what game engine they used to build this?
No.
The Bubsy 3D game engine. Because they previously did Bubsy 3D, which was a terrible game, but it taught them a lot, and they had like a pretty decent engine. And they're like, okay, I think we can like rework this to be a little bit better. So I had no idea about that until I interviewed him. Like, wait, like one of the worst
3D, one of the worst things ever. One of those like engine trivias that always gets me is Donkey Kong Country has the same engine as Metroid Prime, the first one.
Oh, that's funny.
How? I don't get it. They're completely different in every way, but sure. Why? The base of it was good enough. They're like, why not? Let's turn it into a first-person shooter.
Yeah. Whatever was going on with Bubsy, they were like, well, the camera moves when the character moves. That's good enough. But yeah, the Washington, D.C., that opening level is so action-packed. Thank God they started with like an action-packed level and like work up to the stealth missions.
The opening mission has you sent around to destroy some enemy comms while you find the position of where their bombs are set. So as you're running around, they're sending waves of enemies, sometimes 4 or 5 at you around corners, sometimes 3 from this side and 2 from behind you. So it teaches you need to be quick on the draw and pick out your targets, because the guys with the machine guns might be deadlier than the guys with the shotgun over a longer period of time. But once the shotgun guys get into range with you, as soon as they fill that, like, for anyone that hasn't played it, the UI is pretty simple. On the left, you have your health bar, which is your armor bar first. When your armor gets depleted, then you start taking damage. You have a how close is my gun to actually hitting them when you have your lock-on meter, and how close is my enemy to hitting me, which is like the danger meter. If the enemy actually has like full red on the danger meter, then they can actually start shooting you. So if an enemy runs up with a shotgun and like locks onto you, they can blow you away in 2 or 3 shots. No problem. So it teaches you
You
really
know-
quickly. Make wise decisions. If you're not going to take out that shotgun guy, you need to run away from him.
I do like they have the auto aim feature where you just lock on and hopefully you hit them. And then you also, like you said, you can do your manual aim and link it up. And I like when you aim on their head, it has a little thing going headshot. And that was in the first game. That's so satisfying because you're like, I know I'm going to take them out. In the second game, they can headshot you.
Ooh.
So when you suddenly have headshot above your head, you're like, oh, fuck, no.
Does it one shot you, I assume?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
no. Okay.
There's levels where you go by like sniper. I think it's mostly snipers that can do it to you. But it goes from being the most satisfying thing in one game to the most stressful thing in the next game. You're like, oh fuck no.
I like that when you're aiming on it, you're in first person. So in some instances, you can sort of head glitch enemies. Now, something I notice is a quirk of older games is how enemy AI works. Specifically, enemies don't render in or exist until you're in the correct spot, and they're within. They're like the camera renders them in. So sometimes you can force enemies to spawn in your eyesight, and you can learn to trick them, which is helpful, but it can also be disadvantage because enemies can sometimes just spawn behind you, even though you're 100% sure you just cleared it.
Yeah, I will say there was one point where I played this game so much I knew where the enemies were going to spawn, and I would literally just aim. I would manually aim and wait for them to glitch in and just headshot them right away. I was like, boom, got him.
The other quirk of the AI is they know when you're aiming at them. It gives them like an alert in their brain that it's like Spidey said, "Hey, he's aiming over there. Let's shoot him."
But also in this level, you do get some help. You get not the CDC, you get the CBDC, I think they're called. The guys in yellow, and they are on your side. They can shoot some of the guys, but they can also be killed. And also, if you accidentally shoot them, they get very upset with you and they start to shoot you.
I think if enough of them die, that you also lose the mission. So you have to make sure they don't just keep getting slaughtered.
It depends. It depends on who it is. If it's sometimes some bombs specifically need a CDC guy to dismantle. So you're right. In those cases, you lose.
After you destroy their comms, you find out that the bombs are down in the subway, so you head down there. You go through and you disarm a couple of the bombs. Most of them are decoys, including the last one that you get to, which you're unable to disarm and blows up because it's an actual like ballistics bomb. Yes, or I guess it could be chemical or whatever, but either way, it explodes, derailing some trains and making the next mission more difficult because now you're backtracking through the subway, but it's destroyed and on fire. So,
and were you startled by the man who comes out screaming?
Yes, I was startled and immediately ticked off that I'm like, oh, cool, fire one-shots you in this game. There's basically no way to get out of fire once it tags you. You have basically 1.5 seconds, maybe, if you have full armor. So that guy runs at you and just goes, ah, and just kills you. So if you don't roll past him or kill him immediately, he just kills you. So the first time I encountered him, I'm like,
up, he'll just fall down.
Yeah, I didn't know that though, because I just started the mission like, let's go, and he just starts running at me. I'm like, oh fuck, and just all right, now I'm dead.
I think I have his scream burned into my memory too. And you're like, what the fuck? There was like a point where it took me. I hadn't played it in a very long time. And I popped it back in, and I immediately got PTSD hearing him scream, like, oh, shit, I remember that now.
Just some of those sound waves are just, etched into your childhood brain. You're like, yeah, I'll never forget that. A sound effect that's like that for me is the sound effect of Teen Titans Cyborg shooting his arm laser is also the same exact sound effect as a N64 game called Beetlebuggin' Racing. When you pick up the armor, basically the Mario metal coating ability, It's also in that game, so you can run into other cars and blow them up.
Oh, like that liquid metal thing?
Yeah, so it has the exact same sound file in that game and in that game. And it's just that, like, if I hear it, I'm like, I know exactly where that's from. Don't play with me.
But the subway exploding, I always like that because it reminded me of Die Hard 3 when the bomb blows up in the subway and like the train like comes up on the ledge and everything. So again, this game was reminding me of the action movies I was watching as like a young kid and then teen. And then I watched more action movies.
Was Die Hard 3 out by then? Yeah, it's that old, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, Die Hard 3 was out at this
it's
point.
old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you make your way through the subway and dodge the myriad of shotgun enemies and enemies that are running at you, burning, that can kill you in one hit or force you to back up into another pile of fire that can basically kill you in one hit.
Yeah.
I was not having fun with this mission. I was enjoying the first little bits. I was like, oh man, this game's kick ass. And I just kept getting killed over and over. And I kept getting further and further into the tunnel, and I didn't get a checkpoint because the checkpoints in this game are only given to you when you complete an objective, and specifically only certain objectives that give you checkpoints. And now once you figure that out, you can like use that to your advantage and complete a bunch of stuff and then get a checkpoint, or you can get the checkpoint early to skip a part that you were having difficulty with. The problem is in this burning subway level, I just forgot that the flashlight is a thing that you sometimes have to use because the game has no goddamn gamma in some areas. And there was apparently some C4 that I had to pick up in a chest that I had no idea where it was because it was laying in the corner, rendered in pitch black.
Yeah, if I take a long break from this, that is one of the things that trips me up. If I haven't played this in like a year or two, I'll be like, what the fuck am I missing? I'm like, oh, the C4. What did you think about the platforming? This is like really there's not a lot of platforming in this, but the platforming in this game is a little difficult sometimes.
A little difficult, but I love it. I honestly loved it because there's not a lot of platforming sections where you have to deal with other stuff. It's mostly you're just focusing on, okay, what do I grab next? And okay, tap the D-pad 3 times because 4 times is going to get me killed on this little ledge here. So
yeah. And then you can also aim and shoot while you're hanging from things.
Exactly. That's another one of those features. They didn't have to do that. There's not really any sections where you need to shoot people while climbing, but like maybe 1 or 2 where it can help, but you don't really need to do it. There's a section like near the end of the game where you're supposed to be able to like shimmy and climb over like 2 warehouses. But if you just shimmy a different way, you can climb over the thing and just run over it like a bridge and then just completely ignore the shimmying part where you have to shoot enemies. So it's like, whatever. So generally you don't need to do that, but it's just something they added in there too, because it would be like, it'd be cool if you could do this. And I sort of missed that like era of game development where they did as much as they could, and then they're like, okay, now we need to cut shit out before we can ship this because it is bigger than we can put on the cartridge.
Yeah. But you're right. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, you get to do a lot of things you don't technically have to do. The game would be fine without it, but it's just that little added detail, those little added details that make it so much better.
And to answer your question, I love the parkour section. So once you make it past the first floor of the subway, there's apparently a subway tunnel above you as well, which anyway,
there's double subways.
Cool. I'm glad you guys in DC are that good at making subways. I'm sorry I doubted your engineering feats.
I haven't been to DC in a long time. I assume they have double subways.
I don't know. I don't know how heavy that would be. I don't know what the risk would be. I'm not a civil engineer.
Neither were the people who made this game, apparently.
Yeah,
hold on. I'm gonna Google. Can you double stack subways?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to be on one of the ones underneath a subway. I would be like, no, even the top ones, because then if you fall, man, I don't know. It's like a horrible situation either way, I think.
Oh, I'm getting subway tiles for your bathroom. No, that's not what I mean.
Like Subway, the restaurant tiles, you can get like green and yellow subway tiles.
I should be more specific. Subway rail system. Let's see.
I would assume no. So you climb up to the second story.
Hold on. Yes, subway and rail systems can be double stacked. either by stacking train tracks vertically in tunnels, elevated structures. Okay. All right. Point for Syphon Filter then. What
All
do
right.
you know, Annie?
I told you nothing. I was trying to make that clear. Everybody was trying to say, "Oh, you know so much about things." I'm like, "No, I'm stupid. Shh, don't."
You're always bragging about your knowledge of Subway stuff. It's really the thing that bothers me about you.
You're confusing me with Vito. He's the guy that knows about Subway.
Wait, who?
You're confusing me with Vito. He's the guy that knows about Subway.
I'm sorry, Annie. My New Year's resolution is that I can't talk about or acknowledge Vito Gesualdi, except to let people know that I can't talk about or acknowledge Vito Gesualdi. I'm sorry.
That's very healthy of you.
It's free. Annie, my life's gotten so much better. It's gotten so much better. I don't get texts or calls yelling at me because I like to tweet or something anymore. It's great. It's the greatest feeling. But I can't talk about this stuff, Annie. We got to talk about Syphon Filter.
On the second floor, you're clearing out more of the bombs until you find the actual viral bomb, and it is in the park. You were kind of decoyed this entire time, and it wasn't in the subway. Fuck you, the communications thing that you hijacked and blew up. Well, lied to you the whole time, because there's a guy in the park that is the detonator for the bomb and also is jamming the communications.
Yeah.
So
the guy in the first guy in the park is what? It's like Marcos, I think his name is. He's like kind of the boss.
Did I write
for
it
the
down?
Park mission.
I did not.
Yeah, I think Marcos is the boss for
the trigger man, yeah.
Yeah, Jorge Marcos. Yeah, he's in the park. He's the guy before you get to the big memorial. But he's kind of lame. Like, some of the bad guys look cool, and he's just like, I got like a green shirt and I'm not wearing a mask. And you're like, oh, that's fucking stupid.
He was basically just a random soldier just hiding in between two hedges. The park mission is one of my favorite missions. I liked it a lot.
Wait, real quick. Hold on. Before we get to the park, there's a big subway mission.
Oh, yes.
Mara.
Yes, I apologize. You're correct. The fourth mission is the Mara chase scene. She's down there and you have to chase her through the subway, and you're told to basically kill her, and apparently your bullets are soft, so you don't. The first couple times I did this, I was struggling with it because I kept getting hit by the trains, and then I was trying to figure out like the correct cadence to go between them. Up until that, I sort of just got lucky on one of the starts, and I just made it past the very first train, so I had like a free 150 feet to run before the second train came on that side, and the entire time I was just putting bullets into her spine. So she doesn't have a flak jacket, but she is just a bullet shield.
Aim for her head. You can finish this mission super quick. If you time it just right, you can just headshot her right in the beginning and it'll cut to the cutscene.
Oh, nice.
I don't know why it doesn't kill her. It doesn't make sense.
Again, you have soft bullets here. For some reason, you put the soft bullets in.
All your bullets were changed to rubber bullets. But yeah, you can literally play this level like that if you time it right and just headshot her, and the level's just over.
On my second playthrough, I probably would have done that, where I now had the headshotting skill, but I didn't have to learn it yet, so I didn't have that skill yet. So
Plus, you don't know you could do it at that point, so...
No, I didn't think of it, So at that point, I got lucky with one of the trains, and I just chased her and just put bullets into her. I think I ended the mission like 15 seconds after that.
Yeah, because she eventually does stop, and then the trains stop coming, and then it gives you a chance to like really shoot her.
This is a good place to take a quick break and ask or answer some of the chats. Lucha Steve saying, "I hope Tony can one day talk about a good video game."
Lucha Steve's one of my guys.
Asking,
shut up, Lucha Steve.
And then asking, did any of the games ever explain how Gabe ever became a Syphon Filter?
He's not a Syphon Filter. The virus is the Syphon Filter.
Are you sure?
Yes, which I guess we just assumed that it's siphoning all the races and filtering them, and that's how they target which racial group.
Sure, but why is there a Y? Is it because I have to ask why is there a Y?
Can you spell siphon with a Y? Hold on.
I mean, I'm sure you can, like legally speaking.
Yeah,
and then Tim 422 coming in for a $10 super tip saying, "See ya at Hackamania." Tony, are you coming to Hackamania?
No, I dabble. Manny, I'm
I get no. Look, I get it. No, it's fine, but I also give you a boo because you can come hang out.
Dabble adjacent, okay?
So come hang out in Vegas with Grant. Go hang out with Grant.
Just hung out with Grant in Allentown. I just went to AC. Hackmania, it's like 2 in the Dabbleverse. And look, I was very briefly Dabbleverse news, where a bunch of streams were talking about me. I see you, Spurk Snake. I saw those streams. You slide into one lady's DMs and suddenly you're fucking Dabbleverse news. But no, I am Dabble adjacent. I'm mostly just a fan of WATP and the Dick Show and whatnot.
Toys R Us did a horrible job spelling, so anything is possible, says Brandon.
Spursnick says Jim and them are going to be there. I'm actually collaborating with Jim and them at some point. We're going to do a live episode, but they're like touring right now. They're doing like something. They're like going to like the Corey Feldman screening and whatnot. So I got to plan that. Ugh. But yeah, I would love to go to Hackmania. I can't do a show there because again, I'm not really super into this world. The only show I could have done was Biggest Problem in the Universe, but they got banned, and I wouldn't do it now, even if they were there. Still love Dick Masterson, by the way, in case everyone thought it was both. No, I love Dick. So
yeah, Dick's great. All right. So now that I correctly addressed the Mara mission, you end her and you send her back to headquarters to like be imprisoned, which doesn't work. Yeah,
no, she eventually breaks out.
She is apparently made out of like liquid because she cannot be captured for more than like 2 missions, maybe 3.
Yep.
So
I love when you're watching like the video later on and they're like punching her in the interrogation room.
They're just beating the shit out of her and it's like, give us the intel. Give me the info.
Those were the days, Annie, when your video game that a 9-year-old played could just have government agents just sucker punching a woman in the interrogation room.
Yeah, back when things were cool. She goes back there so they can interrogate her, which you find out and see it in a little bit after you get sent to the park to finally take down the trigger man who is going to set off the bomb that's going to I don't know, blanket most of DC. We don't get an indicator of range or efficiency or how potent the bomb is or how long it lingers or anything like that, and it doesn't really matter to the story. Like it doesn't. It's just kind of a thing to keep you moving between missions.
Yeah, this level is always hard for me, because it is like a maze, and I can sometimes get turned around in this. How did you feel playing the whole park thing? Did you get like lost at any point?
The only part I got lost at is the very last objective was to kill the trigger man, and I just couldn't find him because he was just in a random hedge. He wasn't anywhere where I thought he would be.
Your map is weird because just the corner, I think, glows and lets you know like what direction to go into, but it's not more specific than that.
I thought it was just a compass. I thought it was just north that it pointed at.
No, I think it points to your objective.
Well, I didn't know that because I mostly ignored it because I thought it was just north to orient you to like, so you didn't constantly have to open your map. You could just figure out which way but north was and you knew which kind of way to go. Because the mini map more functions as like a heat map for enemies. Like if they're on the radar, there'll be like a little dot, and then as you get closer, it'll show you how close they are in what direction. It's not exactly a motion sensor because they don't have to be moving. But it's just like a positional radar for enemies. And apparently it shows you which way your objective is. The only way I ever found out was just opening the map, and then there would just be a nice big blue square on where I needed to be.
Yeah. I also love, this is when you get the night vision sniper rifle. And everyone gets that cool green filter around them. I fucking love that. Because, like, again, I was watching a lot of movies. For some reason, my mom thought it'd be smart to let a 6-7-year-old watch Silence of the Lambs multiple times. But Buffalo Bill had the night vision goggles at the end that were all green. So I remember when I played this, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like Buffalo Bill. I got like the green night vision. Other movies had green night vision. I had not seen them at that point. So I went right to Buffalo Bill for some reason. So yeah, this is cool when they all have the green outline. There's like that moment
It
where you have
functions
to,
more
like,
like thermal vision though, like in other games where
yeah,
like
it is mixed a little bit with Predator. So it's like
mm,
night vision mixed with Predator, and I liked both those things.
the night vision sniper is great because on this mission it's also like it seems like it's rainy and like kind of dark
Mm,
out, so
yeah,
enemies that are far away from you, you can see them before they can see you.
yeah,
And as long as you aren't within their detection range, even if you're looking at them, they won't be able to spidey sense you. So as
yeah.
long as
Because
you're creeping along the edges, you can like pick off a lot of the enemies. As long as an enemy doesn't watch an enemy drop, because there's
yeah,
not
and
really
at
like a
some
there's not like a body detected thing, because once bodies are
mm,
laying there, they're kind of just like a static object until they disappear. But if an
yeah,
enemy watches his friend die, he'll be like, yeah, somebody just murdered him.
yeah. And there's one part where you got to like save hostages. And if I remember right, you can like time it where one bad guy walks in front of the other and you can just headshot both of them at once. I think. I remember. I think that's this game. I didn't have time to replay the whole game for the 500th time before this.
I think you're correct, but the bullet doesn't do a collateral. You do have to pull the trigger twice. But all the
Oh,
sniper
okay.
rifles have like super quick fire rates, so you can double tap really easily.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Oh, man, I want to. If we're talking about this, and I kind of just want to play it again. I might pop it in tonight and play it again. But yeah, so the park mission I think is fine. But I don't know if you had more to say about it, but it leads up to probably the best boss fight in the game, I think.
The only other parts about the park mission I have to say is it's a nice long mission. I feel like the missions before
Yeah.
this were kind of like do this and the mission's over, do this and the mission's over. This was a lot of running, walking, shooting, and you had to go to like the mission is essentially in the shape of a tuning fork. You
Mhm.
go down one long hallway, and then there's a hallway to the left that you have to go down and complete an objective, and a hallway on the
Yeah.
right that you have to walk down and complete two objectives on. So even
Mhm.
if you walk down and complete both objectives on the right, you still have to go all the way to the left and then walk all the way back to the right. So I was
Yeah.
fortunate that I picked left anyway and just went and destroyed the communication array and then walked to the very end, cleared out the shitty version of the Lincoln Memorial, and then I was like, oh, why isn't the mission done? So I went and found the gunner, the triggerman,
Oh,
and killed him.
it was funny. So when I used to play this with the infinite ammo cheat, which is great. If you want to replay this, play this with the infinite ammo cheat. It's great. Actually, when we did Syphon Filter and Friends, there was a later level, and I had Fetus Berry Crunch on. Do you know who he is?
No, I have no idea.
He's the guy who went viral when the dude said he played that game with cheats. He's the one who went viral, who went and said, "You not only cheated the game, but you cheated yourself. You didn't learn." Do you remember that like copy pasta that went viral?
No, I'm perhaps too
Oh,
young.
what? No, it was like 6 years ago. Anyway, I had him on for that episode, and I put the infinite ammo cheat on just to drive him nuts. He's like, "No, you're not allowed to cheat." But yeah, so I would get to the memorial before getting to the boss, and like you, I would sometimes have trouble finding Marcos. So I just get the M79 grenade launcher with infinite ammo,
I just go
and I would
thunk,
just
thunk, thunk,
launch.
thunk, thunk,
I
thunk,
would just
thunk.
launch him in there until I got the killed Marcos. Like, boom, let's do this.
That's the right way to do it. Just running around shooting them with an infinite grenade launcher.
Yeah, it's perfect. You got to be careful with the grenade launcher. If you shoot too close to yourself, it will kill you.
Give
You're
yourself
not
God
immune
mode
to-
then.
I don't think actually this didn't have God mode.
Really?
It had level skip and infinite ammo.
Hmm.
So I mean, you still would get fucked up, but at least you didn't have to hunt for bullets. It was nice.
Oh yeah, because the bullets, especially on some of the guns, is very scarce.
Yeah.
There's essentially like a fully automatic Glock 18, and it's honestly one of the better weapons in the game.
Yeah.
But you only get like a total of 8 or 10 magazines in the entire game.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't get to use it unless you have the infinite ammo cheat, that you just use it all day long and you just wipe people out. But yeah, that is one, because that is like one of like the strongest weapons in the game, and you rarely get ammo for it. Which is
The gun
bummer.
that you get at the very end was my favorite. That has just like 100 in the magazine, and it shoots like a single bullet at a time unless you jeez.
That's okay.
Unless you hold down the trigger, and it just had one of the fastest fire rates as well. So I don't remember what
I know exactly.
it's got a weird name, so I didn't know what the gun was called, but it was basically a pistol that had a big drum silencer on it. I don't know what it was.
I'm looking at the. Oh wait, hold on. I can find out what it is. I have the little booklet here.
Remember when they came with booklets?
Oh, guys, watch out!
They took everything from us.
Watch out for 989 Studios Twisted Metal 3. I think that one's underrated, to be honest. Hold on. Where
now,
are the weapons here?
I find it interesting as I was doing research for this that the game was published by Sony outside of the US and was published by 989 in the US. It was actually developed by Eidetic, but when it's sort of like people getting publishers of movies confused with like the directors.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really the same thing.
Yeah. And I think Sony owns it now. And they just haven't done anything with it. Well, they technically
Sony's great at doing nothing with stuff.
Yeah, look how long it took them to bring fucking Crash.
Where's Bloodborne? Back. I'd like to play Bloodborne. It's not on the PC still. They said fuck you.
Oh. But you still get it on PlayStation, right?
Yes, and now that I have one, I could buy it. Yes, thankfully. But that's not the point. I can't just go buy it on Steam because they didn't. Some guy at Sony apparently hates Bloodborne. I don't know, but this isn't a Bloodborne review.
You're always the only thing you talk about more than subway systems is Bloodborne. Also, I think it was the PK-102 assault rifle.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Syphon Filter game introduces the zombies?
No, let's save that for the end.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, all right. I don't want you to spoil the second two games for me because I know it's not in the first game. Although there's like there's like zombie-like people in this game, but not really.
Yeah, no, there's a way later spinoff. They did the 3 PlayStation games. The PlayStation 2 era, the Omega Strain sucked, and I never played the PSP games, but I have the PS2 versions. And I got to try them out, and then they just kind of stopped. But anyway. We get to Anton Gurdu, and then he goes, Caballero Khan. He's so fucking French.
He's the guy that burnt down the village at the very, very beginning of the game in the cutscene. So
yeah,
you're at least a little bit familiar with him, and he likes fire. So he comes at you with with super armor and a flamethrower.
You know, the flamethrower kind of made sense when he was in the jungle for clearing brush. Flamethrowers are not good weapons. That's always cracks me up in like movies and stuff. Like, these aren't very good weapons.
But they are scary.
You have a target on your back, which you could use to your advantage. You just shoot this gas tank over and over again. Basically, you just have to like roll, hide behind a pillar, lure him to one area, shoot him in the gas tank.
Yeah,
and they give you a bunch of ammo here.
They give you more than enough ammo and cover to make this fight super easy.
But as a kid, it was kind of hard. It actually took me a while to beat as a kid.
I think part of the difficulty is you don't get a health bar or an indicator on how weak he is up until he just suddenly explodes.
Yeah. And I love when he's just dying slowly and screaming, and Gabe's just updating Lian. He's like, yeah, I took care of Gurdu. Meanwhile, he's like, ah!
Yeah, as he's this cool guy walking away. Cool guys don't look at burning corpses.
Wait, I love when you're in there. Again, the Lincoln Memorial, which is now a dome.
Yeah, the big circle room.
Dome, which is not what it looks like, but I think he knocked the head off of the Abe Lincoln statue. And he was shit talking America, that Anton Gurdu. I'm glad he's gone. By the way, I had a thrift or not a yard sale years ago. Someone was selling a welding helmet that looked like Anton Gurdu's helmet. I'm like, oh, I gotta grab that for my one day Anton Gurdu cosplay that fucking no one will get. There was also a rumor.
I'll get it, Tony. I'll be the one person that now gets it, and I'll be like, yeah.
There was like a myth or something that said you can unlock Anton Gurdu's flamethrower.
Oh,
You
no.
cannot.
Unless you just straight
However,
up modded the game and like
yeah,
took the file and made it an equipable weapon for your character. Yeah, no, it's not. No, sorry.
I will say this. I guess that caught on because in the second game, at one point, you get to like an oil tanker truck and you could grab the hose and you basically, for like one part of a mission, you have a flamethrower and you just flamethrower a bunch of guys. I guess it was too hard to make it a regular weapon, so they put it in one stage, which I appreciate.
Yeah, fair enough. Although,
yeah,
Halo 1 did it. Halo 1
Halo 1's a couple years after this on the next gen.
What year does the second game come in?
Syphon Filter 2 probably would have been 2000, I think. Hold on. Syphon Filter 2 was 2000, March 14th, 2000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it had to be before 2001 because Syphon Filter 3 had to have its posters and cover changed and taken down.
Why, 9/11?
It had an American flag on fire, and then 9/11 happened, and they went, no, get rid of those.
God damn it.
If you can find like posters or games that came out with the American flag, they go for a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, they'd be a collector because they're the undiscontinued version.
Yep. But yeah, Anton Gurdu is dead, and this is when we finally get out of DC, sort of.
We head back to our headquarters, and we get a breakdown of our next big mission is to track down the guy that we now know is to be manufacturing the bomb. Not the bomb, the virus specifically, is the leader of Farcom, a guy named Fagin, which is like pharmaceutical company. Real good name, but
Farcom.
Yeah.
They do pharmaceuticals and communication.
Oh, yeah. I didn't yeah. I thought it was just a company.
Yeah, and this is when you go to New York at the Exposition Center, basically like a big museum. And again,
and this is straight up like a James Bond or like a spy mission. You go to the party, you have a nice cutscene of like, being at the party, very James Bond like, and then you see your target go off and you're like, I'm following him. And then you end up doing a tail mission as he walks slowly to his objective at the end of the mission, and there's the guards that are just, watching the museum and also making sure that he can make it there safely. So it is the first mission where you really need to now learn how to headshot people, because if you're not, this mission is going to fail so quick, so many times, you're not going to have fun with it. You also need to learn. You also need to sort of learn enemy line of sight, because you instant fail if the enemy sees you and pulls the trigger. If the enemy sees you and doesn't get to shoot yet, they don't like technically alert anyone. So you have like a tiny bit of like Looney Tunes time over the edge where you like run, you're like, you have just a little bit of time after they spot you before it's over. And it also is the mission that taught me that crouching kind of actually does help, because it does make your hitbox littler and it makes enemies harder to see you. So I was like, okay, all right. It's not just something you can do. It's something you should do in these stealth missions.
Yeah. And the stealth mission is mostly just for the first part where you're following Fagin. And when he meets Edward Benton, that traitor. So you're learning people in your own agency are traitors. But the coolest thing about the Exposition Center is, again, this is a very grounded, realistic game, but it gives you an excuse to be in crazy environments. Like you're chasing him through like Stonehenge and Egypt, and then you go to the moon. I love shooting people in the moon exhibit, and eventually leads to the dinosaur exhibit. I'm like, this is all the shit that I like.
It's like the Smithsonian on crack.
Yeah, you basically are dressed up as James Bond. You're going down like a Mayan pyramid. You get to like
where you have to slide down. Yeah,
the slide is, you only get to slide a couple times in the game, and it's pretty cool. He puts his arms up, I think. When
that section's a little tricky, because after you clear out the enemies, you have to do two things. You have to remember that the enemy that you killed across the room dropped a key card, and you're going to need to pick that key card up later, and that you have to climb back up to the top, hit a button, and then go down the pyramid slide and run to the next room before it closes. Sort of like forcing you into the next area, but it's a test of how well you're able to corner and control your character. So this mission kind of softly was a second tutorial for the game for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The gameplay changes a lot between the previous missions and this. But you're like, I like that you can just shoot the controller for the elevator to bring yourself up. It took me a while to realize that as a kid. I'm like, but wait, how do I get back up? I can't get back up. Like, oh, I can just shoot the thing and it'll lift me back up.
It took me so long to realize that in the mission where you have to shoot the thing to go up to the next floor.
Yeah.
I'm like running around. It's like one of the missions with the missiles. I'm just running around and running around. And I'm like, I don't fucking know how to get up there. And I had to pull up a walkthrough and it's like, aim your gun up there and shoot it. I'm like, sure. And and it just puts me in the next floor. I'm like, yeah, of course. That would work.
Yeah.
Now, if I would have had to tase it to make it go to the next floor, that would have actually made like sense to me. But why does bullets? I shoot soft bullets again and press the up button.
Yeah, the soft bullets. Yeah, it's weird. It's because I think eventually you make it to like that security room, and then this is that cool cutscene where you jump through the big glass dome on top of the first area, and you're like Batman breaking through it. Which by the way, when that room is empty, you could shoot all the balloons in that room.
Oh, cool.
Did you shoot all the balloons?
No.
Oh, you didn't spend a lot of time shooting balloons in that room?
No, I was more worried about the enemies that were sniping me from the ceiling and killing me because at this point, as I mentioned, the game is not very generous with its checkpoints, and it's not always very generous with its body armor. So if you go into a section that's particularly difficult and get forced checkpointed and you have no body armor, it makes the next section very difficult. And even the very difficult parts, there's never been there's never a part where I had to restart the mission because I got like fucked. But there were points where I'm like, I have 2 HP and I need to get right there for that body armor. It's right there, and I just need it. I think it was at the Farcom warehouses mission where you're sneaking around and you have to put it's the mission coming up at the snow base where you have to put the bombs on the fuel tanks.
Yeah.
I was up on a ledge and I deactivated like power to a section and I got a checkpoint and there's 2 enemies that run up to the gate and just start gunning me down and I'm like I just want to be done with this mission. I'm not having fun anymore.
The weirdest thing about this whole mission, which is a great mission, again, you get a lot of variety in the environment.
The museum, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. You have to, once again, Mara is there and she has Fagin, like she's gonna kill him to like tie up a loose end. But like now you're not supposed to shoot her with bullets. You have to hit her with the taser. And
right, because you didn't bring your soft bullets this time, I guess.
Yeah. So I think you climb up on the dinosaur, I think. You stand on the edge of the dinosaur. At no point does she turn around and be like, is there a man on top of that dinosaur?
Hey, what's going on over there? She has very terrible peripheral vision.
I think you taser her through a glass like plate window, and I'm just like, I don't think the tasers are that strong from that far away.
This part was a little bit stressful because you only have like a couple of seconds after the checkpoint to get it done before she just shoots him anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, you go up there, you tase her to like non-lethally take her down, and Fagin runs away. He's like, what?
Yeah, he scuttles off. And then I think next is this when we get to the hold on.
Oh, that's where we're going to the Rhoemer base mission.
Okay.
Because now Mara's apparently back in our custody again for the second time.
Yes.
And we also are going to have to hold on. Yeah, because Fagin gets captured by the enemy in a little bit here. Once because he runs away, we don't capture him. He gets captured by the bad guys because like, are you turning on us?
Yeah.
And then, at the last end to tie up here is we kill Benton here.
Yes. Yeah, we kill Benton.
Once we find out that he was the mole and he was a snitch and he was a double agent, we're just like, nope, kill him. Kill him with a headshot.
Yeah, and then we go to the base, Romer's base, and this is the snow level. Another cool thing about this game that I don't think I was seeing a lot in a lot of games, plenty of costume changes for Gabe. He's got his
Right.
standard outfit. He's got the what you call it,
The tuxedo.
the tuxedo, and now he's got his like snow outfit, which was cool.
I really
So
like
that
this
was
mission
pretty.
because it's supposed to be a stealth mission, but this particular one, you can let the alarm go
It's
off, and
optional.
then the enemies will just constantly be coming at you. It'll make it very difficult, but if you
Mhm.
are good enough at killing enemies before they can kill you, you can just guns blazing this whole base. And I really appreciate that because, as I mentioned, you can force the game to give you checkpoints after you complete objectives. So you could
Mhm.
just guns blazing the first guard, run to the bomb, and if you've already done this mission before, you'll know where the second and third. Well, they're not bombs; they're
Yeah.
fuel tanks that you put bombs on.
Yeah. And like you said, I do like that the stealth is optional. As I got older, I realized stealth was the way to go. When I was a kid, I was like, fuck it, just gonna shoot everyone. I'm like, no, that was not the way to do this. Kind of like when I used to play Hitman as a younger man. I'm just like, I'm just gonna go in
Yeah,
and
when I played
shoot a bunch
Hitman
of
2, I was just like guns blazing, fuck them all, I'm killing everybody. I'm gonna kill everybody and put
but
them in a room.
I think this is when you get the gas grenades, right? I don't know if they pop up in an earlier level.
If they did, I never picked them up or used them, but yeah, you get the gas
Yeah.
grenades here because there's a couple of sections where there's multiple enemies that you need to take out
Mhm.
quickly and quietly, specifically one of the base commanders.
Yep, and be careful with how you throw that gas grenade, because if you hit the wall next to you, you will die.
Yeah,
And
unlike the fire where you have like a second or a little bit to get out of the way and like roll to avoid dying,
oh
the
no,
gas grenade
you're
is
dead.
instant. You will die.
But I definitely did like the upper level of Romer's base. The lower level, which by the way, did you think the lasers were actually lasers? Did you think they were motion detector lasers in the lower levels of the base?
Where there's like laser walls in every area?
Yeah.
No, I figured there were death lasers.
Yeah, I always again, that's another thing. If I don't play this in a while, I'm like, oh, those are motion detectors, and then I'll run through it accidentally. I'm like, oh no, those are just lasers. I'm like, wait, Romer has straight up lasers. I feel like that's a really cool innovation. Why don't you use this?
That's a
in
really
shit?
good defense. Why don't you have this in every part of your base?
You should be lasering everything.
Why don't you just take one of these and put it on a pistol? Then you just go, and then you just have a little like lightsaber gun. Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
really good technology that they don't use very well at all. Especially how fast it kills you instantly.
But yeah, I think the lower levels are just another thing where I just get kind of turned around.
I think
bit
the
under there.
lower level also kind of sucks because it's implied that this whole part is going to be like stealth. Get in there and you can do this whole mission and get out before they even know that what hit them. Except the second you get to the second part, you set up all the bombs and then disable their communications and go into the lower level of the bunker, and a silent alarm gets triggered. So it doesn't fucking matter. The whole base is on high alert, and there's no real stealth option left at this point. And this next mission, if the game has a good job of breaking up the pace, and sometimes not in a good way. This is the one where I was like, why does this mission exist? Because the last mission was good. The last 2 missions were good. The last 3, 4, 5 missions were fine. And then I go to this mission where I'm like, all right, walk around this, shoot that panel. Okay, now that light's destroyed. Go over here, put a tag on this missile. Put a tag on this missile. Walk around the corner, shoot a panel. Walk around the corner, shoot a panel. This mission sucked.
Yeah, it's not as exciting. But you do get followed up with a helicopter boss fight right after. And I think this is where Lian gets kidnapped. Like Rhoemer hijacks. He's like, I've got Lian.
Yeah, he just somehow gets her, whatever, it's fine. It's off screen, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You get sent because you go to the roof to disable the anti-aircraft grid, so they can't shoot down the helicopter that's going to come pick you up. Then they send their own helicopter, which you have to shoot down, which is pretty cool because again, this is a fight that doesn't really have like a health bar, doesn't really have an indicator on how well you're doing.
You get
just
to see
have
more and more smoke and fire on
more
it.
smoke and fire, and also kind of like you pick up on the stages of the fight and what's happening. Because at the beginning, he's not deploying troops, and near the end, he starts deploying troops, so you can kind of get the idea that you're going through the stages of the fight.
Yeah, and I think if you play, there is a code, I think, for like a harder mode.
So I can be the
And
helicopter?
Huh?
So I can be the helicopter? No.
No. I think it just like the helicopter drops guys like way more. So you have more guys to fight while you're doing that. Because it's actually not that hard of a boss fight. You just kind of roll and wait for it to come up, auto lock, shoot it with your strongest gun, and then roll. Wait for it to auto lock, shoot it with your strongest gun. But then I like after this the run out of the base where everything's like on fire and shit, and it's about to blow up, and you just have to bolt out of the base after you destroy the helicopter.
Yeah, honestly, pretty good. You backtrack through the whole stealth part of the mission that you did, and during it, you just, you just run past it and get to the end. You have a time limit, which is one of the few time limit missions, but it gives you more than enough time to do it, I think.
Yeah. And then that whole base blows up. I think you see the trees like bend over, which this explosion reminded me of the explosion at the end of Predator when the Predator blows himself up. So again, I'm being reminded of movies that I liked at the time. Then we get to, that was Rhoemer's base. I think next we get to Rhoemer's stronghold.
Yeah, which is basically just like a big church castle. What?
Yeah, it is it's like the fucking Vatican. It's gigantic. It's a huge cathedral in the mountains where all his henchmen are dressed up like friars. And they're experimenting on people. So you have like scientists in there, and you have virus victims. You have labs, which again, everything is interactive. You can shoot those test tubes in the labs, and poisonous gas will come out of them.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. And I always this was always like my favorite area of the game. I don't know why. It just looked cool to see like a gothic like cathedral castle sort of thing, and just run around there.
I like that it's just full of like monks and stuff. Like what did Rhoemer just buy this place? Like what's going on here? Did he?
Yeah. What about the church? What about the churchgoers who were attending this before it became a viral lab?
You're tasked with killing the scientists here while looking for Rhoemer, and also the eggheads back at the agency have cooked up a vaccine that they want you to test to see how good it is. So if you find any test subjects, try to administer the vaccine while you can. And I say try, it's required to complete the mission, but
yes. And the cutscene, this is when he learns what the virus does. It is a virus that could target you based off a certain genetic makeup. So if you were to release the virus somewhere and you're like, I only want whites to live, it'll wipe out everyone else. So he's just like, oh, wow, that's an insane sort of thing to happen. And this is actually used later on in the last James Bond movie. The virus they were developing was like the same exact idea, where it targets you on your genetic makeup.
I appear to have broken my chat overlay thing, so that's okay. I don't need to pull them up.
No.
It's whatever. It's my fault. I fiddle with things, and I deleted a thing I shouldn't have. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I can grab it from a different place. It's not important because you can't see it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I can't see it anyway. I only have the chat popped out.
That's okay. Bacon Bit saying, I missed Syphon Filter completely, and I was a GoldenEye kid at the time. I missed GoldenEye as well. I had it, but I had it on the PlayStation or on the N64, but I just I was playing other games. I was just like, I have other stuff that's cooler and funner.
GoldenEye is pretty good. I will say, I remember a few years later finding out that there was a Tomorrow Never Dies game for the PlayStation. And that's my favorite James Bond movie. And it was a third-person game, and it looked like Syphon Filter, Annie. And I got very excited. And then I got the game, and guess what? It's not as good as Syphon Filter. In fact, it's actually kind of bad. It's actually not a very good game. So I was super let down because I'm just like, wait, my favorite James Bond movie, and it looks like my favorite game. Although Tomorrow Never Dies might have came out before Syphon Filter. I know the movie definitely did, but I don't know about the game. Oh no, it only came out like a few months before. Oh no, it did come out after Syphon Filter. So yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies was definitely trying to be like that, and it failed.
I missed most of the James Bond craze. I watched a couple of the Pierce Brosnan movies, and that's mostly my familiarity with James Bond.
That's fine.
You could ask Husey, and he would tell me that's not fine. Apparently, he hates the Pierce Brosnan ones, and he won't give me a reason why other than I don't like it.
Well, I'm currently blocked by Husey, but let's not talk about that. I think it's a sensitive subject.
Anybody else you're beefing with?
I wasn't even beefing with him. I just woke up one day and I went to like reply to something, and I just saw I was blocked, and I went, "What the fuck?" But yeah, the Stronghold. Again, you got a lot of cool environments here. It does feel like you're just running through the Vatican or like an old Gothic castle. Also, I love like some of it will look old and Gothic, and then there'll just be a bunch of Farcom boxes everywhere that you can then again platform on. There's a lot of climbing and stuff in this. Yeah, it's just a really cool area, and then eventually leads you down to the catacombs. Apparently, this cathedral is a castle and also has catacombs. It has everything.
I really liked this section of the game, but it felt like it was kind of out of place for most of the rest of the game. It was a great set piece. It was fun to walk around in. I felt like killing the scientists was fun because some of them were walking and patrolling, and some of them had guns and would fight back. You get the 45 in this mission, which is like the most powerful gun besides the grenade launcher. It kills most enemies in 2 or 3 bullets. Even armored enemies die in like 6 or 7. So it's a really powerful gun. And whenever you walk up to a scientist that has one of them, they just go blam, blam. You're like, holy.
You know what's really messed up? When you corner a scientist, they will get on their knees and like beg for life, and you have to like execute them. And now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know if I should have been executing scientists at 9 years old in a video game.
No, probably not.
They're bad guys, but still, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's kind of like, and I didn't care about anything. What happened there? Are we good?
Oh yeah, that's my camera because of StreamYard. I use it in a different StreamYard window. It always tries to kick me out because StreamYard's worried about bandwidth for some reason.
Oh, gotcha.
So yes,
very complicated setup here.
Look, it looks nice, it sounds great, and it gets past of all of StreamYard's quirks except for that one where it says, "Hey, are you still here?" Yes, I'm still here. Can't you see me on screen being still here? And as I mentioned, it's a paid StreamYard account, so we're paying for the bandwidth. Can you leave us alone?
Yeah, that's weird. I never get that, but okay, no, I'm looking at it right now. That is a nice layout. Good job.
Well, thank you. Yeah, the big church stronghold Vatican City castle mission. I think great, even though aesthetically it's kind of boring and flat to look at, unlike most of the game, which has like colorful backgrounds and computers and you're like bases, and I don't know. This is mostly just like brown and stone.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'm fine with it too because I really like the variety of like environments that they put inside of this. I like that you go outside, you're up on the roofs, you're down in the basement areas, you're in the hallways, you're in the labs.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't have a detailed of this mission here, but the big part of this mission is finding Fagin, who is in this stronghold. You find that he's being kept here, and he knows where the final base is that has the missiles that are going to shoot the virus and basically spread it, because the planted bombs are, well, failing and also don't seem to be that good of an idea anyway. So they're just going to release it through like an airborne missile.
Mm. And I think you have to save Leon here too, right?
You don't know that yet, but yes, this is where you have to
Yeah.
save her, because after you find Fagin, he lets you know where the next area is, and lets you know that if you let him live and go, he will let you know where Leon is, because apparently he
Mhm.
knows.
And also in this mission, we realized that we got a little hint of this earlier. Gabe just loves blindly running through giant glass windows. He did it in the he did it in the museum. And then there's that one point where he's on that ledge and there's the big stained glass window, and he constantly does that, He does that little when he's about to do something cool, and he just jumps off that pillar just through the stained glass window. I'm like, how do you know it was on the other side? You could have died, Gabe.
Hey, he got main character energy. He just trusts it, you know? Like in Fast and the Furious, they never check whether there's something on the other side of the ramp.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Absolutely. He just like, glass, let's break it.
Yeah.
The rest of this mission is leading Fagin. So he sort of is telling you where to go, but you're kind of leading him through these tunnels and clearing out enemies. And this mission was the last time I really enjoyed this sort of gameplay in the game, where you're just going down a hallway and it's like, all right, there's two nooks on the left and the right. Guess which side the enemy's on.
Yeah. Yeah, this mission is kind of rough, the whole escorting thing. I'm not really crazy about the catacombs, to be honest.
It's just a little bit too long. If there was like 4 less hallways, I feel like it would be good.
Yeah. But we get to learn a lot more information here. We find out Markinson lied about the vaccine. There is no universal vaccine. It's like a specific thing for each person. And then Mara,
which is why we can't give it to Leon once we find her.
Yeah. But then I think Mara kills Fagin, right?
Mara kills Fagin, yeah. Mara kills Fagin, and that wraps up that end.
Them.
And then she says, well, the whole place is going to go now, and you can either come with me or die, and I'm going to get you to the next place. And she sort of uses saving us as leverage for us to not kill her on the spot.
Yeah. And then she takes you to the warehouse district in Kazakhstan. I forgot. Rhoemer's stronghold was in Ukraine. We're going all over the place here. We went from DC to New York to Kazakhstan to Ukraine to back to Kazakhstan.
Weird that he has a base in Ukraine. Like, why? Does it have any benefit for that? Because they have a bunch of Ukrainian monks, I guess?
I guess so.
I don't know. I guess that's why I'm not an evil terrorist. I can't think that far ahead.
I'm glad that you don't want to be an evil terrorist.
I didn't say.
I'm suspicious.
I did not say I don't want to be a terrorist. Don't get it twisted, Tony. I'm just saying I'm incapable because I'm not good enough to be a terrorist.
I like that you weighed the pros and cons of becoming a terrorist. I'm glad you decided on not being one, because I don't look. I don't want to get political or push any like buttons or anything, but I, for one, Annie, me personally, not a fan of terrorism. Don't support it.
Man, you're lucky I don't have my soundboard set up. I give you a bunch of booze right now. The warehouse's mission is pretty straightforward. You kind of just need to get through them. And while you're there, you get a couple side objectives. You find that there's corpses that are basically viral carriers, so they can spread the virus if something goes wrong. But mostly they're being shipped to places so they can extract the virus out of them and like synthesize it and make more viral bombs in different areas or whatever. So you need to shut down the shipments, tag them for destruction. And once you realize that there's a lot of it, you need to just burn down the whole warehouse district. But first you need to
get that cool 3D scanner.
First you have to go to a man named Erickson, not Markinson. Erickson. Erickson has the viral scanner, and then he just kind of despawns and is never in the rest of the game. So he's just a guy that he might as well have not existed, and that thing just been sitting on his desk. But still, it's fine.
But yeah, this is when
I
there's
took a
like two.
long time on this mission because I kept missing the bodies, and I didn't
Yeah.
realize that it was really necessary. I thought it was just like, I don't know. I thought it was a side objective. I didn't know it was a mandatory thing. Like if
No, it
if
is.
you don't tag this thing, you're not going to be able to complete the mission. Because I got all the way
Yeah.
to the end to where you go to the hatch to the next mission, and it's, Gabe,
Yeah.
you still have uncompleted objectives. Ah.
You got to scan those bodies, and this is cool because it's like two factions fighting each other, and you're like in the middle of it. It's Roemer's men, and who is he fighting?
Rhoemer and Farcom. So apparently Farcom is
Okay.
now turned because they.
Mm.
My guess is, I don't know if it was explicitly told you, but Farcom is now sending their guys after Rhoemer because they believe that Mara, working for Rhoemer, which she is responsible for them killing their boss. So they are just sending people to get revenge, I guess. It's like a revenge strike.
Guess so. Or just get the virus for themselves or something.
But they're the ones that developed it initially. Fagin was the guy that invented it.
But I guess at this point, like all the labs and shit where they were doing it have been destroyed. So
I guess, like I said, it's a little unclear. The story mostly is in the background to just get you to play the game, and it's fine.
Yeah. But this is when he finds out about the Deviaka missile that they're gonna load it with, and then you go into the tunnels. The mining cave. You didn't like the mining cave?
So it's
the mining cave is rough. I'll give you that.
It's really annoying because this mission and the mission right after this, the two missions before the final mission, almost made me not like the game anymore. At this point, I'm so tired of every enemy having body armor and me, and the gameplay stopped being like an action game for me walking like 3 pixels and being like, is an enemy gonna spawn? Is an enemy gonna spawn? Is an enemy gonna spawn? And I was really just drained at this point because of the tedium of the combat and the sparsity of the checkpoints. I got so far into the fucking mine and didn't get a checkpoint. And then I got so far into the mine, didn't get a checkpoint. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this real slow. I'm gonna be methodical. I got so deep into it and didn't get a checkpoint. I'm like, okay, I swear to God, if I don't get a checkpoint after this next area, I'm just cheating. I'm just gonna turn on unlimited health because the emulator I had an unlimited health button, so I can just turn on unlimited health. And I'm just gonna walk through the fucking mission and just go to the objectives and just ignore all the enemies unless I have to kill them. And fortunately, after calming down and getting through it, I got to an objective and finally got a checkpoint. I didn't realize I got a checkpoint because I was in the middle of fighting and I didn't realize I completed something to get a checkpoint. And I died, and I was just like, okay, here we go. And I reload, and I'm in the room that I just was in, and I'm like, okay, cool. I can continue playing this game, and I don't have to throw my monitor in the fucking trash.
That's why when I was doing Syphon Filter and Friends, I specifically had that guy who was famous for yelling at people cheating to do this level, and I purposely cheated because I knew if I played it legitimately, it would take forever. So I'm like, I know if I do the cheat codes and like part of the gimmick of the episode is that he's getting pissed that I'm cheating, I'll be able to blow past this. I mean, I have beaten the level legitimately like 100 times, but it is the hardest level for me. Especially if I haven't played the game in a very, like if I were to play it now, I would have a rough time at this one.
There's 3 things working against you, or I guess 4, working against you as a player that make it really hard. 1, every enemy has body armor, which you've already kind of been used to at this point, but still, you know, every enemy has fucking body armor and fully automatic machine gun. So if you don't headshot them, they're going to wreck you in a couple of seconds because they are elite enemies and they can actually aim.
Yeah, and this is when you need like the night vision sniper rifle. Really comes in handy with this one.
Number 2 is the enemies are so numerous in this fucking level. There are so many enemies. Number 3, the area is fucking dark, so the enemies can render in just outside of your vision, and you can't see them unless you like walk slightly forward and get rid of the fog of war. Which is really annoying because once they're in the fog of war, after they've rendered, they like de-render and then it's so annoying.
It is. So I mean, to the game's credit, it is a later level. It should be harder, but it gets like really hard.
And the last thing is the spare. I think
who's
there's only like 2 checkpoints in this level.
Yeah. Again, I guess that's fine to do so late in the game, but as someone who plays this a lot, this is the part when I get to this part, I'm like, all right, let's do this. Let's do this.
Thankfully, you have some good guns to handle a lot of this, but like, I was getting killed by shenanigans. I feel like just RNG sometimes. Like there is a part where you have to like walk down a long hallway and there's an enemy that sees you, so he starts running away from you, and you have to basically chase him while he's like aiming backwards and trying to shoot at you. But the problem is if he runs out of render, he stops running, and then you have to walk towards, and then he starts running again. So you can't just like shoot him because the second he renders, he starts running and then unrenders. So you have to run at him and wait till he stops and then shoot him. Unless you want to just empty bullets at him repeatedly into his spine, which is fine, except for Gabe doesn't aim exactly at the character when auto-aiming, and he has to have like a little bit of like arm lag and like actually line up the shots. So I, one time, was chasing the guy, killed him, no problem. Killed him with like 20 bullets, no problem. And he's dead. And then the next time, I emptied like 77 rounds at him while running, and then he just turns around and goes, blam, 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 and just kills me. And I'm like, what the fuck? What? I'm not having fun at this point. I'm angry that this game is just obliterating me and not giving me a single checkpoint. Now, like you said, it's late in the game. The game is allowed to be hard. It's the final, it's the final stretch. It's shit. Yeah, whatever.
And there are some,
and then there's fucking grenadiers in that level as well. There's dudes that'll throw grenades at you.
Yeah.
So you really have to creep because they can just one shot you.
I think the Biz 2 and the K3G4, I think those guns will shred flak jackets. Those are like good ones to use.
The Biz 2, that's the one I'm talking about. That's like my favorite gun in the game.
Yeah.
It's got the biggest mag, it's super fast, it's super accurate, and it's one of the few assault rifles that you can single tap. Like either guns shoot 2 bullets or 3 bullets at a time normally when you just single tap it. This gun shoots 1 bullet. So when you line up headshots, it's super ammo efficient. It's probably my favorite, the Biz 2.
But yeah, those 2 guns, they'll just shred flak jackets in like no time. Those are the ones that you want. Again, if you were to play this level with the infinite ammo cheat on, you would have a great time.
Oh yeah, because I'd just be like, die, you motherfuckers. The goal of this mission is to just kind of get through the mine and reach a secret bunker inside of the mine, which has the actual missile silo in it.
And then you get to the missile silo,
where Markinson finally meets up with you, and it. I don't exactly remember the dialogue here.
So Markinson basically, after Costa Rica decided he wanted the virus for the agency.
Oh, so he turned,
Yeah, so he's kind of working with Rhoemer, and then Rhoemer shoots Markinson.
Right in the back of the head, and he falls into the missile silo and gets cooked in a couple seconds once the missile launches.
The missile was my idea. But this is, and when I played, so I had Dick Masterson on Syphon Filter and Friends. And because he did the old version of Biggest Problem, he like name dropped Syphon Filter, and I'm like, dude, I got to get you on this because he played it as like a teen in the 90s.
Ah, okay, nice.
He loved it. Yeah, but he kind of brought up a good point. So this targets your genetic makeup and race, right? And Logan asked Rhoemer, who is black. I thought he was Middle Eastern, but apparently he is black. Gabe asked him, who is the target? And then Rhoemer goes, does it matter? So basically, and I asked Richard Ham, he said, we just didn't want to say who it was. We thought it'd be cool to be a mystery. But Dick brought it up. It kind of makes you racist because then you start to think, who is he targeting? And it's like, wait,
they're killing the Indians. Oh, shit.
You're like, wait, why did I do that? I don't, what? No. So the game is just like, you're actually the racist. So I try to get Richard. I'm like, can you tell us who it is so I don't have to guess? And he's like, nope. I'm like, no.
Well, I would assume he's going to start with America.
But who in America? It's a melting pot.
The American gene. Duh.
So Native Americans? He's
No,
Native Americans.
Anyone that likes alcohol, tobacco, fast food, soda, water.
Anyone who likes water? Okay, so everyone.
Does it matter?
Doesn't matter. But yeah, so this is kind of cool where you have to like go into like before the blast door comes down before you get hit with the
I
rocket.
would say that this would be cool if the controls weren't fucking janky. You have to basically do it perfectly. And what's really annoying is you don't get time to do it the way that you would want to do it and just like turn and run and roll. You basically, the second the cutscene ends, you just have to hold the trigger so you can like sprint diagonally towards it. Don't turn the camera, just run into it. What's funny is you can go into it and immediately roll out of it and skip the cutscene, and the rocket will still be taking off, but you'll be immune to it because you triggered the cutscene, so the rocket no longer does damage.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So you can like save a couple of seconds, I guess, if you're speed running. But
but this is cool where you can kind of shoot through the floor at the other bad guys because I think the floor is graded.
It's both cool and a pain in the ass because it's really hard to aim vertically in that game. So if an enemy is above you, you can't really headshot them. So you just have to bullet dump them until they die.
But then it leads you to the final boss fight with Rhoemer.
Okay, hold on. I want to complain about this one because I liked this mission, but I was like, it's so tight and unforgiving that it does it like. And what really, really pissed me off is, incidentally, my friends were backseat gaming me at the time, and the game fucked me over for whatever reason. There's a console at the end of this little run that you have to interact with. Did not spawn. It was physically there, but the interact button just didn't work. I don't know if it was an emulator problem. I don't know if it's in the base code. I don't know what the problem was. But I got to the level. I got to level like 10 or 15 times, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I literally have a second screen with a walkthrough, and I have another screen over here that has a video. I'm watching what to do, and I don't know what I'm doing. So I just quit, restarted, and I came back to it and ran rare, and the fucking console is perfectly online. I'm like, oh my god.
To my knowledge, that might be an emulator thing. I never ran into that. I do hate when that happens, though. I think like the first South Park game has like a weird glitch where a fight just won't end, and it was driving me nuts. There was something like, if anyone in the chat remembers, and I remember just playing this one level over and over again, and I eventually Googled it. It's like, yeah, it's a glitch. You have to actually restart from an earlier save thing. I went, oh, fuck. I'm like, I've been playing this for hours thinking it was me.
Yeah, I thought it was something I was doing wrong. Like at the end of this run, there's a server room, and you have to like hijack first you need to climb up on the missile and get the launch protocols from it, and then take it to the launch computer and basically detonate the missile safely in the air and prevent it from doing its thing. Like I said, the terminal at the end to finally interact with it, like triggered the very end of the mission where you fight the boss. Didn't happen. So somebody came into my chat and it's like, well, you need to use the gas grenades. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't have gas grenades. Second of all, that doesn't help me at all. I've killed everybody in the entire level multiple times. I've gotten to the end with like a whole 2.5 minutes left, and I can't beat this mission. So I just restarted it, and then it works perfectly fine. And then the advice of the gas grenades did help because it's the only way to defeat the final boss.
Yeah, nothing will kill him, and he has a grenade launcher.
And he spawns like right next to you, so he can kill you in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, and it's because it doesn't tell you to use the gas grenade.
No, and he doesn't imply that and the game doesn't tell you that like he's immune to damage because you can shoot him and he'll be like, ow, ooh, ow, ooh, ow, 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 and act like he's getting hurt, but nothing actually hurts him.
So you go into that like one little room above the area and you grab the gas grenades. So there's like a thing of gas grenades there.
I guess you probably should have done it before you interacted with the terminal, which I was so excited that the terminal was spawned that I just interacted with it. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. But once you do that,
because the mission was fine. I actually liked it as a climax mission. It was fine up until the point where the game bugged and prevented me from being able to complete the mission. And then I had people just being like, "Well, just do it," and I'm like, "Ah!"
You're right. It is weird that it doesn't let you know that the gas grenade, although I do love the Logan, Logan. However, when I did talk to Richard, he said, looking back, he realizes it's not the most exciting final boss thing. And he said, like, he's like, with the benefit of hindsight, I should have brought back Anton Gurdou's flamethrower and did like a different version of the flamethrower boss. It probably would have, even if it was like recycled, it would have been more exciting than running around a tiny maze launching gas grenades that could probably kill you.
Even if you kept it the same, where he's like invincible running through a maze with a grenade launcher, so he can just kill you in like one hit. I think the gas bombs should have already been in there. There should have been like little containers of the virus, or just like storage. I don't know. There should have been something you could have shot to blow him up instead of picking up a equipable that you've only needed to use basically one time in the whole game.
Yeah. But they kill him and they blow up the thing over Kazakhstan, and it ends with them at Farcom cleaning everything up. The next game will pick up right from this, I think. There's like a big fight. But then there is a post-credit thing where Amara is like whispering into a guy's ear or something like that.
Because she got away after all of that. Whenever she dropped us off at the base, we apparently were just like, bye, bye. Wow, that was a nice lady, huh?
Yep. And do you want to know how bad that virus is, Annie?
How bad is it?
Way after the Syphon Filter games, they made a game called Days Gone, the zombie game where you're on a motorcycle in whatchamacallit, Oregon. Did you ever play that?
No, but I'm very familiar with the concept of it.
Yep. So Bend Studios, which used to be 989 and whatnot, that game is in the Syphon Filter universe.
Really?
So
canonically,
there's a virus that made a bunch of zombies, and there's one document you can find.
Now I get that guy's comment from earlier.
Yep. You get that one document that says that the Syphon Filter virus was kind of used in the research, and it mentions Gabe and Leon. And remember, there's that there is like a CDC guy wearing all yellow, like the CBDC guys in Syphon Filter. And if you do enough missions for him, he will give you a taser from Syphon Filter where you can hold it on the zombies and they light on fire.
Okay, that is a really good in-game connection, and also like Easter egg and also a literal reward. That's great.
And the taser has GL carved into it. So Gabe in the last Syphon Filter game did die at the end. He was like assassinated or something. I'm sure they would have brought him back. They just never made Syphon Filter games anymore. So Days Gone is technically in the Syphon Filter universe. And I remember because Richard had not played it. So after I played Days Gone, I'm like, hey, I just want you to know the Syphon Filter virus eventually evolved to the point where it turned people, bears, and cats into zombies. And he's like, that was Rhoemer's plan all along.
Doesn't matter. The whole world's going to turn into zombies.
But apparently like a different company, when they were doing all this viral stuff, they apparently like had the Syphon Filter virus in the research. So it's like partially responsible for the zombie outbreak in that game. But I thought that was just the weirdest. And I think you can get a custom, like a Syphon Filter theme for your motorcycle, and I 100% put that. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure you can get that.
That's great. One of my favorite examples of this like weird crossovers that you don't expect is Dead Space is canonically the future of the Battlefield franchise.
Really?
Yes, Battlefield takes place in the Dead Space universe.
Oh, nice. Yes, there is a Syphon Filter. You can add a Syphon Filter decal to your motorcycle.
That's pretty sweet. Is it just the logo?
Yeah, it's the logo, but it's all like green and black themed.
I really like the logo because it's the Industria font, but it's got that like laser through it.
It's a bullet going through it, splitting it.
Yeah, it's a bullet. I didn't notice that until making the episode art for this episode. And I noticed that it's very similar to the font that I actually use, which is called Supercharged Laser, where it's got that like nice font and then just a big slash through the top of it. So the Syphon Filter is Industria with that laser, but it's actually a bullet going through the top of it. So
Yeah.
I wish I could get that modified version of Industria, but I'm pretty sure it's not every character. It's just those letters there.
Yeah. Also, another weird thing with Days Gone, they also made a Death Stranding decal for your bike where it's just your bike has a fetus in it.
Nice.
I never played Death Stranding, but I know you have that little tank with the fetus. I'm like, that's like, I never played with that decal. I'm like, I don't want to look at a weird baby fetus in the middle of my motorcycle.
And yeah, I'd rather not hang out with baby fetuses. Sorry.
Yeah. So I want them to make a new Syphon Filter. I mean, it will probably have to break continuity with Days Gone, which I wouldn't be upset. Even though I like Days Gone, I don't really need it in the Syphon Filter universe, really. But I do like the viruses now.
I wouldn't mind a remake for them because you wouldn't have to change much, just expand out a little bit. I think something that would be really beneficial is being able to select your loadouts going into these missions, especially if there's like a new game plus. And once you complete the mission or complete the whole game, then you could be like, I want to start the first game with the sniper rifle, the shotgun, and the grenade launcher. And then in this mission, that's a stealth mission, I want to go with it with the shotgun and, do try to do stealth with the shotgun. I think it'd just be cool to be able to do a little bit more stuff like that in a modern controls. Yeah, the actual story, the cutscenes, the pacings, the way the levels are, I really like it. It has a good menu. Honestly, everything about the game was, I feel like, fully done. I don't feel like there was anything in the game that they put in there like, that's good enough.
Yeah, I would highly suggest doing Syphon Filter 2. It is very fun. It's a little bit longer of a game. Syphon Filter 3 is okay. I think they did it a little too early after 2. And it's weird. It goes back and forth in time. It's like somewhat of a prequel at some point, somewhat of a sequel. And then I got I have all the other ones, but I remember when I got Omega Strain for PS2, I was so excited. And I played it for a little bit. I'm like, this fucking sucks.
Is Omega Strain a follow-up spinoff?
Yeah, I mean, they were all like sequels and stuff.
Oh,
but apparently the PSP ones, which again, I have the PS2 versions of, I bought them just to be a completionist. And I wanted to own all of them. I have not played them. I hear they're pretty good. But I didn't have like a PSP when they initially came out, and I didn't know about the PS2 port until way later. But yeah, 1 and 2 are like the gold standard. I would say definitely play 2.
As you mentioned in our DMs and on this episode, you haven't recently replayed this game. Normally, when I cover a game, the person has recently played it, or as at least in their catalog of, I played it not too long ago and I played enough of it so I'm super familiar with it. A good example is Husey suggested that I play Guardians of the Galaxy. He had played it months beforehand, and once I picked it up, he had still known enough about it, and I'm familiar enough with going through the paces to like jog memories of, now I remember what's happening in this next section.
I played this 9,000 times.
Exactly, you played it a lot, but my question leading into it was, when was the last time you played this?
The last time I played this probably would have been 2020 when I was doing the show. And when I was doing the show, I was playing it a lot because I really wanted to practice the levels before I record it with people because I didn't want them to be there for like ever. Like, especially
makes
some
sense.
Of them,
okay.
Like I remember the Boundary Break guy, she says I recorded with him at PAX. And I know everyone at not PAX, MagFest, and everyone there has like limited time. So I didn't want to like take up too much. So that's why I picked like the helicopter mission for him because it's kind of quick. But I was practicing all these levels so I could go through them really, really quick. So I played
looking at this playlist, and I plugged it in the chat for anyone that wants to. I will make sure to put it in the description too. There is 20 episodes and 20 missions to the game, so that follows up with 1 mission per guest. The last episode looks like it is over an hour. Do you want to tell me why?
That is the one with the game designer, Richard Allen.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, so you did the level and had a bit of an interview?
We did a long Q&A. That was like a dream come true, was doing that Q&A with him.
That is really awesome that you were able to talk with somebody that created a game that had an impact on you as a child. There's not many names in the game industry that mean anything to me or like have anything like any weight to it. But somebody that I would really love to talk to is Joseph Staten, the basically the game writer for the first 2-3 Halo games.
Okay.
Joe Staten, he's not the only guy, but he is one of the biggest guys for what Halo is and became, including his rehire for Halo Infinite, where he kind of came behind the scenes, is like, we need to focus on this. This needs to be we need to do this. And after kind of reshaping the vision of Infinite, bounced out and now no longer works on either Destiny or Halo. So I would really love to talk to Joe State and just figure out, his psyche on it, because he's the only one in the game industry that like has any impact on me. Maybe Cliff Blazinski, but he's eccentric now.
I do want to give a shout out to Richard though, because he is a YouTuber now. He has a channel called Rado Runs Through, and it's him and like a few other people, but mostly him. He reviews board games now and like card games and stuff. It's like really, there's over like 100-something thousand subscribers. He does pretty well over there. But yeah, I suggest everyone check that out over there. I haven't talked to him in a very long time. But yeah, he's still at it. He's still doing it. He was a really fun, cool, knowledgeable guy. Doesn't do much video game stuff these days, but yeah. Also when you watch Syphon Filter and Friends, it's fun because some of it is in person, and then in the middle of producing that series COVID hit. Actually, we're at the 6-year anniversary of lockdown starting. So then suddenly it goes remote, and this is before like StreamYard really blew up. So I was kind of using Zoom and Skype, and I was recording on my camera, and people had to record on their cameras separately. It was a mess, but I still managed to get it out every single week. It was like a challenge I did for myself. So yeah, it's funny because at one point my old boss, I'm streaming with him in one episode, and I'm just like, yeah, so this is a game about a deadly virus. And he looks at me, he's like, well, that's kind of timely.
Oh, yeah, weird timing on that one. Weird.
Yeah.
I didn't have nothing to do with this. It's a coincidence.
So it's a fun trip down memory lane if you go through like the first few, and then it's just like, oh no, now we've got like COVID shit. Now it's all remote toward the end. Like some of them were going to be remote no matter what, because I just weren't able to get to people. But yeah, it's really funny. We got some pretty decent guests on that. I had Mike Matei from Cinemassacre because I worked there at the time. I had Nathan Barnett on. And again, Dick Masterson was on there. Aaron Plays. There were a lot of fun people on that show.
Yeah, it definitely looks like something I would have to check out. If I'm going to cover the second game, I would probably have this on as entertainment while playing the game, because fortunately, it's not one of those games that there's a lot of talking. When there is talking, it's easy to just pause everything else and just like, okay, cool. There's a little bit of talking there. All right, go back to just walking around, peeking around corners and shooting bad guys.
Yeah. But yeah.
Is there any other points or things you want to cover before we start to wrap up?
No, I think I covered it all. It's just a game that really, really spoke to me as a kid. It like because me, I'm like more of a movie guy, but it like reminded me of all the cool action movies I was watching with the over the top action, but it's somewhat grounded setting. Yeah, it's just all these years later. I mean, there's some games that I'll go back and play and I'll be like, oof, I'm like, this is rough. But Syphon Filter, it will always be the gold standard of video games for me. Just a game I could play over and over and over again. Another one's like Shadow of the Colossus. And some older ones, but yeah, the Syphon Filter will always be my favorite of all time.
I'm honestly blown away, and you saying gold standard might apply, because if I'm going to go back and play a PlayStation 1 era game, I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna have to compare it to this game now, because I never played Metal Gear. I haven't played Metal Gear Solid, and I have not played Tomb Raider. I haven't played any of the big like PlayStation titles. So
Tomb Raider 1. If you ever want to do I will come back on for Tomb Raider 1. That's when I played a lot. Especially, it's funny, we're talking about tank controls. I got the remastered series that they put out where you can switch to modern graphics, and that's fine. But I find myself just playing with the old graphics. They have modern controls for it, and I am so used to the tank controls of old Tomb Raider. I can't play with the updated modern. Like I can't. Like my brain is, because it's the same. It's not like they remade the game. It's the original game. They just updated the graphics.
They just updated the graphics and updated the control scheme.
Yeah, they did update the control screen, but it's optional. So the layout of the level is everything.
That's cool.
I played the first Tomb Raider so much that my brain won't let me use the new control scheme. I'm like, I can't do it. I have to play with the tank controls. I can't do it without
This feels wrong. Stop it.
It feels wrong. I will say, Tomb Raider 1, that is where you have to, much like this, instead of like checkpoints, you have to find like a save token. And there is some rough platforming. You have to get really far into a level sometimes to get a save token, where I think 2, you can just save automatically wherever you are. But get ready for that if you ever play that. That would be a good one to do because they're remaking it again, that specific game. So
I would definitely love to. So I'm gonna have to confirm you for that. I'll have to get some dates and stuff in the future and figure out when I can pencil it in.
And that one I played recently because I bought the remaster last year.
I will see if it's available to actually buy on hardware. If I can buy it on the PlayStation Store and just buy it on my console, I will. Otherwise, I'll end up emulating it again. But
yeah, like I said, that new remaster, that is the original game. You could you can use the original
fantastic.
graphics and everything.
Awesome.
And the original controls if you want. It plays, as someone who still has it on PS1 and I played it on like my Switch, it plays fine. Yeah.
Well, I would really, really like to thank you for joining. And these closing 2 segments of the game are always... What was your favorite part of Syphon Filter?
Oh, duh. Taser.
Taser? Yeah.
It has to be Taser.
I think that's a short, sweet answer. It is. I can't think of another game that has something like that up until like 2 generations ahead. Like Hitman will eventually have something like that. Yeah, sure, but like this game came out in '99. It's ancient for games. Like it really is, and I'm honestly impressed with its scope. And I'm gonna say my favorite part of Syphon Filter is its ambition and its execution on it. I was not expecting to end up loving this game. Sometimes I've covered a game for this show where I play it because somebody suggested it, and I ended up like, yeah, it's fine. But and didn't really enjoy it for one reason or the other, controls, issues, performance or whatever. But there basically wasn't a single thing I had to complain with on this game other than its controls, which was an invalid complaint because there was nothing wrong with it. There basically couldn't have been a different control scheme with the controller provided for that game. Even when I was trying to like come up with a suggestion on how I could have improved it, all of my suggestions were like, yeah, that wouldn't really be better though. So, my favorite thing is how well they executed every one of their ideas. They went to go do something small and nailed it. The taser, the arsenal of guns, the variety of levels. There's not enemy variety, but the way they function. You have the sniper enemies, you have the enemies with the machine guns, you have the armored ones, you have the shotgun guys. It really puts you on your toes and puts you against a corner, and then it makes you feel good for being able to get out on top of it, even though the game's not like inherently challenging. Yeah,
I agree.
So
Also, I realize now, I think I have that same Spider-Man figure that's on your. Is that from the movie, the first movie?
Yes, it's from the first movie, and it has the little magnet hands.
Oh, I don't think I have the magnet hands.
Yeah, so that's why it stays on my mic because it's.
Oh, son of a bitch! Never mind. Yours cooler than the one I have. Fuck you.
Yes, this is unironically one of my favorite toys, and I have kept it in great condition and right here because it doesn't move anywhere. Since I've had a desktop microphone, it just sits right here. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
The final segment is of course plugs, and I would like to plug Tony from Hack the Movies. Tony does a great movie review show over on Hack the Movies. You can go to @HackTheMovies or go to hackthemovies.com. You can also follow him on Twitter. His stuff is, of course, plugged down in the description. But why don't you tell people what you're currently up to and what they should check out if they're new to your channel?
Well, currently I'm starting to go viral on Twitter for making fun of The Bride. I saw the new movie, The Bride, which I will be reviewing on Wednesday with Kaylee.
Ooh.
And I did
That's Once Over with Kaylee.
Yes, I took a picture of myself with the poster saying, Let me see here. About to walk into The Bride. It's important to support female directors during Women's History Month. I knew the movie had been getting bad reviews, so afterwards, I took a picture of myself looking sad, and I said, "Just finished the movie. Repeal the 19th." I post that right before coming on here, and right now it has over 100,000 something views and 500 quote. Like the whole time we've been doing this, I just been seeing my notifications blowing up. So yeah, watch me review The Bride, see if I'm actually bullshitting about that quote. But yeah, I have a lot of fun stuff happening. If you happen to be in the Pennsylvania area around Philadelphia, I'll be hosting the St. Patrick's Sleigh event at Neshaminy Creek Brewery in Croydon. We're playing Leprechaun 3 and 4 back to back on Saturday. My next episode will be the original Leprechaun. I did all the sequels, but I did the first two and the newest one on Cinemassacre years ago, and my fans were like, fuck that, redo it in your format. So now I'm redoing the Leprechauns, and plenty of stuff on Patreon. I suggest becoming a free Patreon supporter. That way you at least get the podcast feed and all the free videos and
smart.
better notifications than YouTube. Because me and a lot of my friends YouTubes have been taking hits ever since they changed a bunch of stuff.
Your shadow banned?
Not shadow banned. They just made it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know, have you used YouTube on your TV recently? Actually, no, it's actually on the phone. Now when you go to your subscriptions, this is great. They're always innovating there. When you go to subscriptions at the top, it just shows you most relevant. And it's like, oh, so you're just burying the smaller channels I follow. So that's something I'm dealing with.
Oh, you're right. That is annoying. Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't even think a lot of people have noticed that. I saw that on my TV because I have to pay attention to this stuff now because this is my clown job. And I went, you sons of bitches. That's another thing I got to compete with. Fuck. So yeah, Hack the Movies. Follow us there. YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Patreon is the best place for it, though.
Thank you so much, Tony. Before we get out of here, I'm just going to catch up on the chat and thank the people for joining. Yeah. Conspiracy Theory saying, I loved Syphon Filter. Played the whole series on PS1 and PSP. DRWC saying, the controls are fine for its time. It's what it had to be. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. My one real gripe is basically invalid because it couldn't be any other way. Unless I played it on keyboard and mouse and custom made an entire loadout and forced the mouse to be bound to, it still wouldn't really work. It would still be just what it is. So, yeah. Also asking, did we talk about the classic Syphon Filter 2 commercial?
Well, I figured we would talk about that if we ever did Syphon Filter 2, but there is a great commercial where it's Gabe, and it's made with, like, the game's graphics. Gabe's about to kill a guy, and he's just like, oh, wait, use a different weapon. So he's cycling through his weapons. He's like, grenade launcher? He's like, ow. He's like, what about the taser? He's like, that sounds good. So, yeah, it's a great commercial.
Leprechaun in the Hood. Attack on the Block is a good alien movie.
I did both Leprechaun in the Hoods. I did Leprechaun in the Hood with Movie Dumpster, and then I did Leprechaun Back to the Hood with Manny Muskets.
Attack on the Block is one of my favorite all-time movies. I have never heard of it.
Attack the Block is good. Attack the Block is good. I think that's where John Boyega came from, the guy from the new Star Wars movies. I think that was like one of his early big films.
And Spurg Snake agreeing with you that the stupid change on YouTube is stupid.
Yes, thank you, Spurg Snake, who might have said some mean things about me in other live streams. I saw you. I know what you said. I don't actually care that much. I'm just fucking with you.
Alrighty, I would like to thank everyone for joining. Thank you very much, chatters. Hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you're watching this on my channel, you can go watch the rest of all of the podcast episodes on @What'sThisGame, and vice versa if you're on that channel. So subscribe, hit the like button. Thank you for joining, and until then, we'll see you next time.